when you work in an office or when you have that kind of life where skipping classes and hanging out with friends is no longer a very viable option, you would start to tell yourself that I'm already doing a lot and my days are already spent in commuting, in working, I have so much work pressure, blah, 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 and how can I study? Where's the time? Another caveat to this is that you would also say that weekends are the only time that I get, so don't expect me to study. Some of you might be taking classes and you would say that weekends I already spend in 4 hours of classes or 6 hours of classes. You cannot expect me to study, or I cannot expect myself to study. Now all these are valid, okay, I'm not denying that. But the problem ultimately is that you're the one who decided to go for this. So you're still going to have to find a way to study regularly. So let me begin by saying that any examination preparation should begin with the exam itself. What I mean by that is to really know where you stand in terms of competition and in terms of just taking that specific exam, you should always begin with a mock test. And I cannot stress this enough that a mock test will really give you a good idea of which areas are working for you. Now this is important to know because we have this innate habit that whenever we start studying for something, we want to start with the basics. I'm sure that sounds like a very familiar thing. That's a very bad thing to do to yourself. You know why? Because when you say that, okay, so I'm going to study English from the basics. Now what does that really mean? Does that mean that you're going to study grammar? No. Does that mean that you're going to teach yourself how to spell words? No. That simply means for you that you're going to only do the things that you already know how to do. And by the time you get to the difficult part, you're going to be tired and out of time and you're just going to give up. And then you will tell yourself that at least I studied. That's a false notion to bear and it does not add to your profile. Taking a test in the beginning ensures that you at least do not keep repeating these things, the basics as you call them. Okay, so first of all, for working professionals, my advice is take a mock test, figure out where your weaknesses lie and only focus on those things. Make a bullet point list, put it on your phone, put it on your calendar, put it on your computer so that you have a ready reference all the time. And here's what you do. For people who are early risers, this may work for the morning as well, and you can check the student part of it to understand what I'm saying. But for the people for whom mornings are a little rushed and you have long commutes, you can do the same thing in the evening. Here's the thing. So when you get back from work, whether it's 6 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you need to find out that 1/2 hour right after you get into the house for study. Now, before you sit down to study and after you enter into your house, 2 things you have to do. 1, you have to wash your face and wash your feet. Yes, face and feet, not anything else. You don't have to take a shower, you cannot even change. The reasons are the same that I gave you for the student part of it, which is that when you enter from your house, of course, you feel dirty and grimy and sleepy and tired, and you want to get rid of that feeling. And your face takes like the worst of the outside environment, you know, because we are mostly clothed, our hands get washed a couple of times a day, but we don't really wash our face enough. And that feeling you get after washing your face at home, I think we will all agree is a terrific feeling. So you wash your face to feel fresh. You also have the most number of nerve endings in your face, so that alertness will be bar none. The second thing is washing your feet, because that's like putting a whole, you know, full circle on the refreshing thing. You don't have to take a shower, but by washing the topmost of your body and the bottommost, you will give yourself the semblance that now you're really fresh. You get to remove your shoes and socks, you get to wet your feet and wipe them, and it's just a cleansing feeling overall. Meanwhile, you're washing your hands as well, so you know that's great. Once you do that, thing number 2 is you grab something to drink. Not a drink, you grab something like a juice or something like water or something light like a soda. Please don't eat anything, because that will defeat the purpose, because the moment you eat something, you would want to eat a little more. We all know that familiar feeling that you get home and you just want to eat something good because now you know that good food is available. So don't do that. Instead, just please drink something, take it in your room or wherever it is that you're going to study with you. And then you start studying for 35 minutes. Those 35 minutes should be a planned study. You should not spend that time into figuring out that today I'm going to do this, or let me see how I feel doing that. No. You have to figure out what you do before you leave for work in the morning, and then you have to come back and just do it. So for example, if you are lagging behind in reading comprehension, figure out 3 passages that you can do, set them apart, open the page, put a bookmark in it, shut the book, and then come back and open and just start working on that. If let's say you've been having trouble in sentence correction, have 50 questions ready, come back, start doing those 50 questions. Without stopping, without checking emails, without letting your phone ring, without letting your parents or your spouse or your sister or brother disturb you, and without letting your pets into your room, because there's an excitement associated with coming back to home to a pet, and you just don't need that distraction. Once you are through with that study, once again you will have that feeling of relief, the feeling of gratitude, and the feeling of accomplishment, and you won't have that subconscious voice in your mind saying, one more day gone and I didn't study anything. If you just make sure that every 2 days or even daily you just do this 1.5 hour period of study, focused, pre-planned and executed, I guarantee that your preparation cycle will become just such a smooth process really quickly.